Hello, boys and girls. How we doing? What's been going on then? Hi. We all had a nice few days? What shall we talk about? Oh, I got something on the back. That one's on its way. I bought this one when it came out. I have ordered my Champions one. It's on the way. That'll be behind me with the number and whatnot facing out. This one's for wearing. And then I guess I'll have to get my Champions League one the week after. Goodness me. Good job I won't have to buy an England shirt, I suppose. Or else it's all going to get very expensive. We're playing Football Manager again tonight. It feels like it's been a while. I hear a whole team did a football. Can you confirm? Yeah. Bournemouth. Bournemouth did a football. Good old Bournemouth. I tell you what, I don't know what's more bonkers. Arsenal finally not finishing second, or Bournemouth potentially being in the Champions League. Which is insane. Absolutely insane. I don't watch you that much and normally have you in the background. Do you use Bassy Boys mod? I have absolutely no idea what that means. What is a Bassy Boy when it's at home? I don't do any mods. I don't know what a Bassy Boy is. So probably not. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Am I supposed to be using a mod? What does the mod do? Topher isn't going to be happy. Me and Topher had a little bit of an exchange on Slack yesterday, I think. He sent this is the message. This is the message from Topher. You've been remarkably laid back with the abuse. Thank you. My immediate response, that was at 11:26 yesterday morning. Also at 11:26 yesterday morning. Immediate reply, I'm saving it for Sunday. That's your big day. I've already fetched my Everton shirt out of the storage unit. He then just replied, oh, and I haven't heard from him in the 36 hours since. Ah, bless his cotton socks. I heard Bournemouth are going to have to make changes if they're in the Uckle as their stadium is too small. I think the Premier League requirements are harsher than the Champions League ones. I don't think rules-wise they'll have to make changes for the Champions League. I think it's more a case of they'll probably want to be able to make more money. So they would probably want a bigger stadium, similar to how Arsenal played the Champions League games at Wembley for a bit while they were still at Highbury. Just to get more people in. But yeah, I think the Champions League requirements are smaller than the Premier League ones. Don't play two goalkeepers in the stream today. Look, that's a full-on Football Manager thing. I'm taking no responsibility for that. But how are we all doing? Are we all good? Let's crack on. If this goes badly, this might be the last Football Manager stream of the year, because I've got Forza Horizon ready to play. I've got Lego Batman ready to play, and we've already been relegated once. If we get relegated again, that might be it for Bedford. I think I just have to hold my hands up and say, okay, FM26 is a bit harder than 24 was. But we are showing some signs of life. So we've had a tycoon takeover. We spent 200 million in the summer, and then the season has started horribly. But the last couple of matches at the end of the last stream, we went on a little bit of an unbeaten run. Then we stuck 5 goals past Aston Villa, and then we pushed champions Manchester City quite hard. So for the second time in a few days, I need a game against Bournemouth to go quite well. And then we've got a run of winnable games: Bournemouth, Spurs, Ipswich, Fulham. I want to be out of the relegation zone by 9 o'clock. Otherwise, we might be rethinking some things. So that's the plan for the evening. Thoughts on the Saints situation? I mean, it's a really complicated situation to work out what the best thing to do is, because obviously if Southampton have cheated, kick them out. Absolutely. But it's then harsh on it's harsh on Hull because Hull have now got to face a Middlesbrough team that they weren't preparing for. It's harsh on Middlesbrough because they've now got to play in a playoff they weren't preparing for. It's also harsh on Millwall, who finished above both Hull and Middlesbrough and Southampton. And yeah, they lost, but so did Middlesbrough. And who finished seventh? I would imagine whoever finished seventh have probably got an argument of, well, hang on. If Southampton have been kicked out, do we not get a go? It's really difficult. It's hard to say that there's a right way to go about it. Wrexham, was it? Yeah, so it's harsh on Wrexham as well. So I don't know what the right thing to do is. I think it's quite impressive that the Football League have acted as quickly as they have. I think if it was the Premier League, they would have just kicked it down the road and worried about it later, like they are with Manchester City. So, yeah. It's complicated, and there was never going to be a good outcome for it. There was never going to be a perfect outcome because it's an absurd situation. So yeah, it's none of it's ideal. Why am I being told to hire staff? This isn't my job. I have a man to do this for me. There you go. Get him doing that so I don't have to get involved in that. Don't have to hire my own staff. What do you think this is? After watching the Villa victory parade, I think it's a good job you're not relying on us to do you a favour on Sunday. As our players are a little drunk. Oh. Yeah. Cancel the playoffs, let Spurs and West Ham stay up. I mean, that's the one outcome. I mean, maybe the fairest thing is relegate both Spurs and West Ham and let Hull go up automatically and then have Middlesbrough play off against Millwall for the other spot. I think that's we've found the fairest outcome. We got there in a roundabout way, but I think that's fair on everybody then. If they docked 4 points from Saints this season, they would have dropped one place and switched place with Middlesbrough. Okay, so it makes no difference to Wrexham then. So Wrexham can shut their faces. But, yeah. No, I think, the best outcome, relegate West Ham and Spurs, promote Hull, let the other two play off at Wembley for the other spot. That's the solution. It was so easy. I don't know why they didn't come up with that as quickly as we did. Or enforce the Man City points. Yeah. Relegate City to make send City down as well and let all three of them come up. Because I wouldn't like a solution that saves Spurs. I don't think that's any good for anybody. I think Spurs will really enjoy winning the Championship next season. It will be nice for them to have a little trophy to lift. So, yeah, I think let Spurs have a crack at winning the Championship next year. And all is good. It looks like Adam Wharton's not in the England World Cup squad. I saw that just before we went live. I don't know that I'm hugely surprised. It's not as if he's a nailed-on starter, is he? I think it's Rice and Anderson start. That's what he's been doing for the last 2 years. And then if we say Bellingham's a midfielder, and then you've got several others who would potentially be ahead of Wharton as well. Mainu, maybe. Is he still flirting with Jordan Henderson? Is he still not? If Henderson goes ahead of Wharton, that's a bit silly. Would I take Foden or Palmer? No. was that supposed to be an either or? Because the answer's no. No, I wouldn't. Tony is in, apparently. Tony in makes sense. Yeah, Tony in makes a lot of sense. No, I think if you look at the number 10 position, where both of them are at their best, you've got Bellingham, Rodgers, and Eze are all better than them two. And then if you look at the right-hand side, where I guess they could potentially play at a push, you've got Saka, Bowen, Madueke. I don't take either Foden or Palmer. I don't think either of them have been good enough to justify going. According to leaks, Trent isn't going. I mean, when was the last time he was even in a squad? I don't think that's a huge surprise. What's your opinion on Maguire not going? That's a surprise. I haven't seen, if there's a squad that's been announced or been leaked, I haven't seen it. Gibbs, White, Bellingham, and Rodgers are the 10s. Yeah, I think they all go ahead of Foden and Palmer. Yeah, I think Maguire should be in. If he's not, I'm surprised. I struggle to name 4 fit English centre backs better than Harry Maguire. I think that's the weakest part of this squad. I think we are light at centre back in general. So I am a little surprised if Maguire's not going. Maguire posted on social media he was gutted he wasn't picked. Wow. There's none better than Maguire. I think Gay and Konsa are probably both better than Maguire, but I don't think anyone else is. Stones, if he ever got fit again, but he never did. So you can't take him. I think Maguire, yeah. If you're taking Dan Burn and John Stones ahead of Maguire, I think that's insane. Because one of them's not fit and the other one is obviously not good enough. Dan Burn in an England shirt is fascinating and absurd. I just don't understand. Maybe I can't even figure it out. Shaw, Tomori, Maguire, Wharton, Foden, Palmer are the big misses. I think there's only a few of that. I mean, Tomori's not a surprise. When was the last time he was in a squad? I think Foden and Palmer, it's just the wrong year for them two. We've got that, similar to how centre-back is England's weak spot, that attacking midfield position, there's so many options. If you've had a bad season, then you don't go. Unless your name's Jude Bellingham and then it doesn't matter, you go anyway. And Luke Shaw, is he fit? And again, there's better left backs than Shaw now. You've got O'Reilly, you've got Hall. You've got, is Livramento fit? He can cover both sides, can't he? It's a shame Lewis Skelly didn't start playing in midfield until 3 weeks before the end of the season, because his versatility would be a nice thing to have in the squad. And obviously he works well with Rice. Rice and Saka whipping corners at Maguire's big head would have put the fear of God into everyone at the World Cup. Yeah, absolutely it would. Yeah, that does seem mad. Luke Shaw is the most minutes played in Man United's squad. I mean, that feels like an argument not to take him. Let him have a rest. He's made of glass. If he's played all that football, let him have some time off now. We don't have any central midfielders available to come on, which seems like an oversight. He can go back there, and then he can come on. Come on, go more attacking, you Wallies. Shaw's quality, Hall isn't going. So who's the other left back then? You've got O'Reilly and who? And if anyone says Dan Burn, I'm going to get cross. Ivan Toney getting called up apparently might as well call up Ollie. I mean, Ivan Toney is England's second best striker. It doesn't matter what league he's playing in. I've got no issue at all with Ivan Toney going. Anthony Gordon's going apparently. Oh, that makes sense. He's Aside from Rashford, is there anyone better on the left-hand side than him? He's probably your second best behind Rashford. I'd take Welbeck over Tony. I wouldn't. I think Tony's well clear. Just because he's playing in a rubbish league doesn't stop him being a good player. Rashford isn't even a winger. I mean, he's played all season on the left wing for Barcelona. Seems to be doing all right. And who have England got that's better in that position? It's been a problem since I was a child. England can't do left wingers. Right, come on, you Wallies, do a goal. Tony's exclusively for penalty shootouts. I mean, that's a jolly good reason to take him. Let's face it. If Harry Kane isn't playing, England have got a problem anyway. So the argument about who's going to be the other striker if Kane gets injured or suspended or something, it's like, well, it may as well be me because we're done without him. So taking the guy who you can bring on in the 119th minute knowing he's definitely going to score his penalty probably isn't a bad call at all. We lost. You don't win the World Cup if Dan Burn goes. I mean, it's a 26-man squad. They need someone to drive the bus. Watkins needs to be included. Based on what? If you're 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go and you want to bring on someone to go with Kane, I still don't know that you go to Watkins. Assuming Rashford's already on the pitch, you'd probably stick him up front and bring on another wide player. Oh, we've been given more money to spend. You know what? Calvert-Lewin probably has more right to be miffed than Welbeck or Watkins. Watkins can play as a winger. Yeah, but we don't need more wingers. We've got loads of wingers. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who subbed. We've got straight into chat. But thank you, Project Reality, Liam, Tyler, Mr. Gavlar, Chris, and Topher. Topher's done 80 months. 80 months. Is that more or less months than Spurs will spend in the Championship? Would expect both Watkins and DCL to make it. Why though? What's the point? Why do you need two backup strikers? Because again, no Kane, no point anyway. The England team's been announced on Sky Sports. What, we actually have the squad announcement now, do we? Let me have a look. Then we can react properly. Rather than talking about rumours. Sky Sports website or just on Sky Sports News? It's not on BBC. But I'm just looking for the full 26-man squaddy. Sky Sports News. England World Cup squad. Oh, this is 1909 Right, here we go. Is this the squad? That's Harry Maguire saying he's not. I know you can't see. That's just Harry Maguire saying he's not in the squad. I still don't think there's a full squad, is there? I think there's just lots of people we now know aren't in, but I don't think we have the actual 26 yet. Yeah, I would say based on everything you lot have told me, the only genuine surprise is Harry Maguire. Everything else is like, fair enough. Harry Maguire's an odd one. I can only assume there's maybe been a behind the scenes chat where he said, from not starting and don't really fancy the trip. But then if he's tweeted to say he's upset that he's missed out, that seems unlikely. Right. Let's beat Tottenham. We must. We must. We must. We must. I doubt he'd want to miss out. Yeah. But then, I don't know. Who knows? It's a long time to sit there and not play. If the conversation is a very clear you're coming as fourth choice, I don't know that I don't know that I'd bother. Ben White is going, I think, to play. I mean, Ben White's injured, so I suspect he probably isn't. Yeah, I don't think Ben White's going. I think Ben White would have been with a real chance based on the second half of the season if he hadn't have got injured when he did, because obviously he's got that versatility to cover two positions. But yeah, he's injured, so he's not going. England's got no right back. I mean, Reece James is probably in the conversation to be the best right back in the world, isn't he? You can, at worst case scenario, you can count on one hand right back's better than him. James is injured. I mean, that's a turn up. That doesn't ever happen, does it? I mean, he's been fit all season, hasn't he? I know it's completely normal to assume he's injured again, but I thought he was actually fit and playing every week for Chelsea. If James isn't going, it seems mad that Trent's not. No Rashford, apparently. That's obviously Rashford's going. That's bonkers. Can only assume the right backs will be James and Livramento. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Ba, 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 ba. Unless he goes with Spence. uh, no. No, obviously he's not going to do that. Yeah, I think you have one of James or Trent. If James is fit, you take him, and then I can understand wanting a completely different, like proper right back. But if there's no Reece James, I think you need, again, a different kind of right back to what you get with a normal right back. Ben White could have been right back, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Ben White broke himself playing through injuries when Timber was out for the year and Tomiyasu was out for the year, and Ben White had to play like 70 matches in a season through injuries, and he basically sacrificed himself for his runners-up medal that season. And unfortunately, he's probably finished, which is a shame because I really like Ben White. both with my Arsenal hat on and my Posh hat, because obviously he played for Posh as well. It is a shame, but I think he's done now, isn't he? The best thing for him is to move on to a mid-table team so he doesn't have to worry about playing in Europe and he can just focus on being fit for like 30, 35 games a season and just have a decent next 5 years. And then off he pops. Yeah, Leeds would be a good move for him. They love him there. I keep seeing him linked to Everton. I think that would be a good move for him. I think he's better than both of those teams. He's good enough to play at a higher level if he was fit, but he's just never going to be fit enough to do it again, I don't think, which is a shame. But I think it's harsh to say Arteta broke him. It was more a case of circumstance. He was one of 3 right-backs at the club that season, and the other 2 got season-ending injuries at the start of the season. So he went from being one of 3 right-backs that was going to rotate to, well, he's the only option. He's going to play every single week, and the other 2 have got their legs in a sling, so even when he takes a slight knock, he's still going to play. How good was Ben White at Posh? Not earth-shatteringly good. That was back when he was still a centre-back. If no Lewis Hall, does that mean O'Reilly and Lewis Skelly? I don't think Lewis Skelly's going, is he? And if he is, surely he's going as a midfielder now. I think the one thing we've learned over the last few weeks is Lewis Skelly was a midfielder all along. Tuesday is going to be a good stream if you decide to show us your World Cup squad on FM. I do intend, assuming the update comes out at a reasonable time, I do intend to play the new mode. I think O'Reilly will disappoint. I mean, he's been one of City's best players all year. Not sure who else is left back. I mean, again, it seems weird to be having conversations like this when it's a 26-man squad and you don't, and especially when he's not taking Foden and Palmer, so he's not overloading the attack. But back in the days of a 23-man squad, you could probably take 3 fullbacks and someone who could cover there. So you could do like an O'Reilly, James, Livramento who can cover both sides. It would be hugely risky and it's totally unnecessary when you've got a 26-man squad. So there's got to be another left back. If people are saying Lewis Hall's not in, it's O'Reilly. He can't be thinking Dan Burn at left back. Maybe Lewis Skelly does go as someone who can cover midfield and left back. But is Lewis Skelly, was he even in the 55-man squad? He barely played when that was announced. Saka left back. I don't think you play your best player at left back. Especially when it sounds like his backup in the squad is going to be Madueke. Saka isn't England's best player. I mean, he is. What has he done this season? He won the Premier League. I don't know if we've brought that up yet. Has that been mentioned? I mean, who else is in the conversation to be England's best player then? The only ones you could argue, Saka, Kane, Rice. It's one of them three. Bellingham, if he remembers how to play in midfield. Dortmund, Bellingham, you can maybe put in the conversation. Yeah, Saka has multiple times won England's team player of the year. Yeah. I mean, it's. I think you'd have to be insane not to say he was in the top three. And if you want to make an argument that Kane or Rice are better, then I won't battle you too hard on it. I would say Saka would be my first name on the team sheet for Arsenal and England. But Kane and Rice are also on there. Yeah, when you're having your team sheets printed out, you're like, just put them three names on, just print them on there. We don't need to write them in. I'll write in the other eight. But those three, they obviously are starting. We fit everything else around it. It's a bit annoying that we dropped points there when we were winning. You lot are distracting me. As an Arsenal fan, you'd have Saka as the first name on your team sheet over Raya. Yeah. Yeah, I would. I mean, obviously Raya plays. It's not like you have to choose between the two of them. Saka has 12 g/a in the p-l this whole... Yeah, but we don't... I mean, only little Twitter dweebs judge players on the numbers. Try watching footballers actually play football. If Raya leaves, you can replace him tomorrow. Can you? Who with? Who with that's available? Who can do that same role? I don't know that you can. Raya's the best goalkeeper in the world, not even close. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm not going to argue with you. Hope you're well. Shroomet is here and I'm feeding her. She says, wow, a lot more eloquent than most football fans. Nice. She'd fit in well in the comments on my Epic Universe video that I released on the vlog channel the other day. That was basically the noise most of them were making. Raya, best all-round keeper in the Prem. Donnarumma, best shot stopper. Yeah, but you need more than that to be a modern goalkeeper, don't you? I saw a thing today, a discussion about how there's a bit of an expectation that Donnarumma might be done. That Enzo might see Trafford as his boy because he was his boy previously. It does. I think when we look back on weird things that have happened this season, I really do think City signing Donnarumma was weird. Such a weird. It was such a he's expensive and we can afford it. Let's get him. It's like, well, you had a plan. Trafford was your plan. It just, I don't know. It was such a weird signing. Donnarumma was a shirt signing. Yeah, maybe. It almost, and it can't be this because it's City and Pep and presumably he had ultimate control there. But if it was any other club and any other manager, it looks like the manager's got one plan and then the director of football's come in and said, no, you're having this guy. It was to stop United signing him. Yeah, maybe it was that. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Was cheap compared to others for the same quality. Yeah, but he didn't fit into how they wanted to play. He just got in the way of the guy they'd already identified as the guy. Why did Pep play him all the time? Because he was on £500,000 a week. you can't, even I can't give my backup goalkeeper £500,000 a week. That's why he played him. Trafford was signed for homegrown and then something better came along. See, I don't think that's the case. I genuinely think Trafford was signed to be their goalkeeper. I think letting him go 3 years ago or whenever it was all part of the plan. It was effectively a loan. And then you bring him back when he's ready to play. I need to hydrate. There you go. Delicious holy. My replacement of my strawberry and kiwi arrived today. I finished it while I was in Florida and haven't had any for a week. And it's been a desperate week. But I have my strawberry and kiwi again, and it is delicious. I like the new matcha apple and kiwi. That's nice too. But that does have caffeine in, so I can't drink like 3 bottles of that a day without my heart exploding, probably. I'm only supposed to have 3 caffeinated drinks a day. And I do still have to have a couple of coffees or my brain will die. So it's nice to have a caffeine-free option with kiwi in again. And it's weird, because I don't like kiwis, but apparently I like kiwi powder. Top 3 keepers in the league. Raya. Oh, Manuel scored. Hooray. And then, I don't know. I mean, Donnarumma, if we're talking, Donnarumma probably is in the top 3 keepers in the league. And we're not talking form, we're talking quality. He doesn't necessarily fit into the way modern teams want to play, but as a goalkeeper, he's obviously very good. And Alisson is still good at Liverpool. I don't think he's suddenly become awful just because Liverpool have. So probably them. When you sign a player, do you check attributes or just use star rating? Just use star rating. Attributes are for nerds. Did you hear Alisson refused to train with Liverpool and has been training with Brazil and said, I didn't hear that. It sounds like, it is surprising they've not sacked Slot, because it does sound like he's completely lost the dressing room. I'm very surprised to see Alonso has gone to Chelsea when it's pretty obvious the Liverpool job is going to be available pretty soon. Slot needs to go. Yeah, but who replaces him now? The guy that you figure was next in line has now just got an equivalent sized job. Areola. See, and again, he feels like he's a better fit for Chelsea. It all seems the wrong way round. Glasner to Liverpool. I think if you're a Liverpool fan, you look at both of them and you're like, oh. You kind of want someone a bit more proven. You either want someone proven or with a Liverpool connection. You don't just want to take a guy who's never managed in the Champions League and has no relation to your club whatsoever and just throw him in. That just seems odd. Honestly, don't think Glasner is that good. It's the thing with both of them, Glasner and Areola. You don't know if they're good managing a bunch of egos. It's all well and good taking a bunch of kids and journeymen and getting into Europe when you're not supposed to, or winning an FA Cup when you're not supposed to. But managing one of the best goalkeepers in the world who's decided to go and train with Brazil rather than you, and your star player for the last 10 years who's decided to smack talk you all over Twitter. Managing a bunch of egos is a completely different thing that they've got no experience doing, and you have no idea if they're going to be capable of doing it. It's a different skill set. So it needs to be someone who's either got experience doing that or has enough reputation within the club that they can be completely confident that the club backs them and not the player. Because if you're, I mean, I know Salah's leaving anyway, but let's say Salah was 3 years younger and was staying, but was still kicking off on Twitter. If you're Glasner and you go into Liverpool and have a massive bust up with Salah, who do the board back there? I think they probably sack the manager in that situation, don't they? Because they've got no real relationship with him. Seems like Slot doesn't get on well with the players. Yeah, exactly. So it seems weird that they'd go down the route of making the same mistake again. Cesc Fabregas. See, again, he would have been a better fit for Chelsea. It's so weird. But then I suppose from his point of view, it's like, well, I don't need to go to Chelsea. There's no point doing 6 months and getting sacked. I imagine there's been times this season when he's been waiting for Arsenal. He's probably gutted. We're winning a football match here, by the way. Carrick has saved us, but he's not the man for the job. This is the Manchester United that are third in the Premier League for the first time in a generation. Yeah, it's a bit harsh to say Carrick's not the man for the job. Has there been a better performing? Ole got them second 10 years ago. And then if he's to be believed, the board didn't sign the players that he wanted. I mean, it does the rounds on Twitter regularly, doesn't it? That he presented the board with a list that had like Haaland and Rice and various others on it. And instead they signed whoever they signed. Ronaldo? Was that then or was that later? Talksport is saying no Lewis Hall. I'm really interested in who the other left back is then. Maybe it is Lewis Skelly. But I think having your only two left backs being O'Reilly and Lewis Skelly is a weird decision because neither of them are really left backs. They're both midfielders who can play there. Talksport is also saying Dan Burn is in. Yeeks. How odd. Luke Shaw. Or maybe Luke. Someone said before Luke Shaw's not going. Board want a yes man, Carrick Pittsville. Let's not forget they sacked Amarim because he had the audacity to ask for a midfielder. Didn't they sack Amarim because he played a stupid tactic for 2 years and refused to do anything that would actually work in the Premier League? That's how I remember it. I remember him insisting on playing his dumb tactic that didn't work. And he had his little board. I've got one of those little boards. Maybe Bedford will sack me if I get my little board out. Amarim called out the board and they sacked him. That was more like a final straw, wasn't it? He was obviously on his way out anyway. He was obviously spectacularly failing him. Failing in the job. The new tactic he played when they hired him, that's on the board as well. Yeah. I'm not trying to make the argument that the board are geniuses. He was eighth and within touching distance of Europe at the time. Yeah, with the same squad that's just finished third. Has there been any new signings since he left? Or is it literally the exact squad that has just finished third under Carrick? Under like half a season of Carrick. Same team, yeah. So I don't think saying he was eighth and on the verge of Europe is a way of defending him when that team was capable of getting into the Champions League. Would I be streaming Batman again? Probably not. I think I'll just play through the rest of it on my Steam Deck. Amarim wasn't the right manager for Man United. I'm not going to argue with that. That's the argument I'm making is Carrick seems like he is at the moment. All the reasons for binning off Carrick now are all of the same reasons that people have spent the last 5 years saying bin off Arteta at Arsenal. And maybe showing a little bit of patience and trusting the process works out all right in the end. We've got a bed full going on, boys and girls. Trust the process. I mean, shows you should trust the process. Arteta's won 2 trophies in 6 years. United are a bigger club than that. How many Premier Leagues have United won in the last 6 years? I forget. My memory's not what it used to be. How many times have they won the league in the last 6 years? How many Champions League finals have they got to in the last 6 years? I think United fans would probably take the swap at the moment. How many Champions Leagues do Arsenal have? Ask me in like 10 days. It will still be 0. I think it's a good chance it will still be 0. But I mean, if anyone's capable of keeping a clean sheet against Paris Saint-Germain and scoring from a set piece, there's one team in world football you'd back to be able to pull that off. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Keep a clean sheet, hit them on the counter attack. It's a proven formula. And again, I mean, it is worth pointing out Arsenal did finish top of the group stage, the league stage, and are unbeaten in the competition. So, and have walloped Bayern Munich. So it's not like I don't think anyone's expecting Paris Saint-Germain to win 5-0, are they? I don't think Arsenal stopped that attack. I guess we'll see. If anyone's capable of stopping that attack, it's the best defence in world football. So we'll see, I guess. I certainly don't think there's a better team. I mean, I think anyone who tries to say it's not the two best teams in Europe in the final has got some mega biases going on. I think it is the two best teams in Europe who offer completely different ends of the spectrum about how football is played, but are the best in Europe at what they do. And we'll see how it turns out. Who's replacing Pep? Maresca, isn't it? I thought that was already confirmed, pretty much. You can make an argument for Bayern. I mean, you could, and then you just look at what happened when Arsenal played Bayern earlier in the season. And that settles that argument relatively easily. So we'll see. It's going to be a fun time. I think the crucial thing is, certainly from my perspective, it feels like and I don't know if the team responds to how I'm feeling or not, but to me, it feels like the pressure is off entirely. The big one was the Premier League. That's job done now. The Champions League would be a nice little bonus, but it's not close to as big a deal as the Premier League. That's not I think that's not the one that was the big goal at the start of the season was the Premier League. That's job done now. So the ability is there to play with a little bit less pressure, a little bit less crushing pressure, and just see what happens. Can see Arsenal sucking the joy out of the occasion. I mean, you play to your strengths. If that's defined as sucking the joy out of the occasion, I don't think there's an Arsenal fan who'll care if at the end of the match the Champions League has been won. So the biggest challenge is winning it again next season. I mean, if Pep's going, is it? If Pep's gone, it's like, easy peasy. Maresca's probably going to get backed heavily, but having said that, he got backed heavily at Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, it would be really interesting to know how much of Chelsea's transfer policy he signed off on. Because If he was involved in their recruitment while he was there and was happy with the players that were being brought in, it's going to be so fun watching City turn into Chelsea. It's going to be spectacular. He wanted a centre back, they signed Garnacho. So I think what you're telling me there is he's completely unproven at signing players, at spending. He had, what, a season at Leicester? And then however long he was at Chelsea where he wasn't doing his own transfer. Either he was terrible at transfers or he wasn't doing the transfers. Either way, he's either got a bad track record with transfers or absolutely no experience with transfers. Either of those seem like an insane criteria to apply to the incoming manager at the richest club in the Premier League. He was Pep's assistant at City. Yeah, does that mean he was doing the transfers? I don't think it does it? I'm really interested to see what goes on there. He knows the inner workings of City. How long was he Pep's assistant for? He only did it for a year, didn't he? I'm looking it up. Um, Managerial career. Yeah, he was Pep's assistant for a year. So it's not like he was there forever. I think Alonso would do great at Chelsea if they give him time. See, the really interesting thing with Alonso at Chelsea is presumably he wants to play a back three. Have they even got three defenders? Is he going to be allowed to sign the at least two centre backs he's going to need to sign to play the system he wants to play? Pep to Spain sounds right. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Tuchel's off after the World Cup and Pep's taken over as England manager. I imagine that's one of the few jobs that will pay him the kind of money he was earning at City. And England have tried to get him before. Maybe he's had the nod that regardless of what happens this summer, Tuchel's done. That way he doesn't even have to move house, does he? Has he got kids? Presumably he's got kids who are at school here. There's a lot of reasons for him to stay in England, and that's the only job he'd stay for. I suspect it's international football is one of the few jobs he'd leave City for. His family wants to see the sun. You telling me there's no sun in Manchester? That doesn't seem right. I mean, let's face it, if he's England manager, he can live in Spain. I don't see that there's anything stopping him living in Spain and managing England. It's not that hard to fly over for matches. I see him back at Barcelona at some point. I'd be really surprised. I just don't understand big managers having any interest in managing big Spanish clubs. When I say, I mean Barcelona and Real Madrid. Their managers just don't stay in the job long enough. They're too sacky. I just don't think there's... It's why I was never that concerned when people were talking about Arteta potentially going off to Barcelona. It's like, why would he? What's the point? You go there, you give up a job you could have for the next 20 years to go and do a season there and get sacked. We're getting battered here. Barca is way less sacky than you think. How many managers have Barcelona had in the last 10 years? How many managers have Barcelona had in the last 10 years? 6 or 7 if you include a caretaker. That seems plenty sacky. 7 managers in 10 years. How many have Real Madrid had in the same time? I don't get an AI answer for that one. That's annoying. I have to actually look at a list. Real Madrid in the same period. Oh my word, what is this that I'm looking at? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, Zidane twice, so 5. But Zidane was twice. We're getting smashed here. They had 2 this season. Yeah, they're 2 of the 5. As Topher says, Ancelotti was there for 4 years. Zidane did 4 years across 2 different spells. We're going attack him. We're trying to get back in the game. Substitutions ahoy. Get Frankie on. Let him be a difference maker. Change the whole front 3. Shout at them. How are we doing in the league now? We are back in the relegation zone as a result of this. Luckily, the East Midlands is also rubbish. Leicester, Derby and Forest could be the 3 relegated teams while we stay up. East Midlands today will be having a field day. How is Frankie still there? Because no one wants him. Let's get this question done so I can get on with work. Removing your Arsenal bias, do you think Spurs go down? I mean, it's a coin flip. What is it? Spurs play Everton, West Ham play Leeds. Either of those matches could easily go either way. It's a coin flip. I don't even know that I want them to go down. I think it would be hilarious if it happens, but next season will be a little bit... Oh, no North London derby. No guaranteed 6 points. I don't see West Ham beating Leeds. Yeah, but it depends if Leeds decide to be banter rascals. Leeds have got absolutely nothing to play for. They're already safe. They might just think it'd be funny if Spurs get relegated. It would be hilarious if Spurs got relegated. But then I think we'd all miss them next year. What would we talk about? I'm just glad that that can be my full focus on Sunday now. They'll be the 2 matches I'm watching. As a Leeds fan, I hope we roll over for them. I also hope Everton... Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of Leeds fans are going to feel the same day. The opposite way, sorry. No, the same way. Yeah, Leeds are playing West Ham, aren't they? Yeah, that's the way round it is. I think if I played for Leeds, I'd be like, yeah, I've got the chance to be part of a huge story here. This is hilarious. Watching Spurs in the Championship or trying to get out of the Championship would be genuinely fascinating as well. Because they are absolutely not prepared for it. They would lose almost the entire squad. There'd obviously be a horrible, hateful attitude around the entire club. So there's no guarantees that the combination of youth players and journeymen they'd have to assemble with the crowd on their backs immediately. There's no guarantee they go straight back up. Oh! Yeah, it would be genuinely interesting to watch them try and navigate the Championship. But whichever one of them goes down, that's a massive stadium in London that's going to be hosting Championship football next season. No, it's not my dog. It's next door. We'd have everyone doing an FM20 save, 27 save with them. Thing is, an FM save would be so easy with them. It wouldn't actually be fun because it's like, unlike in real life, you're guaranteed to go straight back up. Whichever one of them goes down, they're both going up. In FM, they're going up as champions. But yeah, they're two massive stadiums. Football! And as Leicester have shown this year, if you get relegated and there's just a horrible atmosphere around the club as a result, and you start to struggle financially, and bear in mind, Leicester kept most of the squad together. If you look at the like regular starting 11 for Leicester that have got relegated to League One, a lot of them were playing in the Premier League. It's not that they lost their Premier League squad and had to replace them with a bunch of nobodies. It was basically the same team. Yeah, Luton the year before. That negative momentum is a huge thing. You'll have a squad full of players who don't want to be there. Fans who are just going to be on their backs immediately. They're going to be hemorrhaging money, so anyone who does play well gets sold. It would be really interesting. And it'll be interesting whichever one of the two of them goes down, because I think they're both pretty big stories getting relegated. Our captain decided to go to Argentina instead of watch the last game of the season. He's gone either way, isn't he? I saw a thing that he was top of Alonso's list for Chelsea, wasn't he? He's our captain. He shouldn't be, should he? If he's on his way out the door, he shouldn't be captain. Yeah, as Ben said, he is a nutter as well. Why on earth is he the captain in the first place? He's mental. Is he like injured or prepping for the World Cup injured? Because if there's no way he can play for Spurs, but he's got a chance to prove he's fit for the World Cup, then I kind of get it. But like if he's injured until October either way, then yeah, he absolutely should be there cheering the team on. He's in the World Cup squad for Argentina. In that case, yeah, if he's prepping for the World Cup, that is kind of different. He's there to watch a match. What match is he watching? I think the big learning point for all of us off the back of this is Ange wasn't too bad after all, was he? Maybe they should bring Ange back next season to lead the promotion push. He delivered a trophy because he always. I don't know if he ever mentioned it. He always delivers a trophy in his second season. Always does. It's just what he does. He's a winner. I say bring him back. I say I'm willing to put club rivalries to one side and make suggestions in what I think is in the best interests of Spurs. He won him a trophy. It was never as bad as this under Ange. Bring him back. What a guy. Does the second season thing reset if he goes back? Well, the real magic of it is if he goes back, he could win the Johnson's Paint Trophy in his second season this time. So, yeah, let it reset. He's winning a trophy for Forest next season. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he'll find a way. Because as he'll tell you himself, he always wins a trophy in his second season. So whenever he gets his second season at Forest, he'll win him a trophy. Can't wait. Why do we not have any midfielders? What has happened to them all? I mean, we've got money to spend. We might have to sign some midfielders. Didn't they get less points in the league last year than they have now? Did they? That can't be right. We weren't talking about them getting relegated this time last year. Were we? I don't think we were. We weren't because the bottom three last year were awful. Bottom four this year are pretty rotten. United are after Valverde from Madrid, but he's got a release clause of 85 million or something. Yeah, but don't they have to get rid of one of the rascals who don't like each other? Doesn't he kind of have to be sold? We keep throwing wins away and it's annoying. Our bench isn't strong enough. I'll get rid of Chouameni. I guess you keep whichever one has more mates there. You go with who's got more buddies. And there's quite a lot of French players there. We are 19th and the transfer window is about to open. And we have got how many pennies? 25 million. We need a midfield player. Mbappe won't go to Chelsea or Arsenal. Mbappe's going to Arsenal, isn't he? But won't go to Chelsea or United. Mbappe's the new left winger at Arsenal. Imagine if it was possible to convince him that he's playing on the left wing. That would be a sensational signing. As long as he came in on the understanding that he's playing on the left wing. It's his best position and it's the spot Arsenal need a player. None of this playing him at centre forward nonsense. He comes in, plays off the left, and you have a front three of Saka, Gyökeres, Mbappe. I think that'll probably do all right. Arsenal need a striker. The second best striker in the Premier League is already there. Mbappe's not doing Arteta routines. He'll be taking the corners. It's fine. I think Mbappe probably breaks the Arsenal wage structure. So I suspect it's unlikely. But it'd be fun. Gyökeres has done good. Yeah, I like Gyökeres. There's only one striker in the Premier League that I'd swap him for. And we all know which one that is. I wouldn't swap him for anyone else. Yeah, Tammy Abraham, obviously. Sesko. No. Obviously, you swap him for Haaland, but no one else. Isak. Isak has to play on the left wing for Sweden, so Gyökeres can play up front. Isak can't even keep him out of the Sweden team. And Waltermard is a midfielder, isn't he? Waltermard is the new Joe Linton. It's the Eddie Howe speciality. Take a striker and turn him into a midfielder. He should sign Harry Kane. Can't wait to see Harry Kane sitting so deep at the World Cup. I think we just all have to accept that's what he's going to do and pick a team around him to accommodate for it. That's why you play Rashford off the left, to run beyond him. And why you probably don't want Bellingham at 10 behind him, because he's going to be in his way. You want, again, someone who's going to run beyond him there as well. You want a Dele Alli in behind him, running beyond him. What's Dele Alli up to? Get him in. Did Rashford get picked for the English side? I think so, yeah. I think the squad not having Foden or Palmer in it suggests Tuchel recognises that they don't work with Kane, so there's no point taking them. Suggests he is going to put together a team to get the best out of Kane, rather than doing the annoying thing that England have done forever of trying to pick the best 11 players and get them all on the pitch at the same time, which is not how you put a football team together. I don't know why. Do other nations do this? I feel like they don't. I feel like it's such an annoying England thing. And I think it's because our media and our fans are morons and have a hissy fit if we don't do it. But this whole England thing of trying to have the best 11 players rather than the best team is so dumb. And because it really doesn't matter Foden, and he's not, but Foden could be our third best player. But if our best two are Kane and Bellingham, tough tomatoes, Foden doesn't go. For example. And that's always been the problem with England. Bellingham is injured. I mean, if he is, that probably bodes well for England. Because then you can play Morgan Rogers in there. And no one's able to argue. Which is probably a bit of a blessing in disguise. Because it takes some of the pressure off when he makes that decision. Which he probably would have made anyway. Again, I still don't really get when Bellingham has to play at 10 became a thing. Bellingham was a central midfielder at Dortmund. Why has he stopped being a central midfielder for England? He still plays central midfield for Real Madrid, right? I know he had that half season where they played him up front because they didn't have a striker. But he plays midfield now, doesn't he? He plays 10 at Madrid. Still feel like he could be playing alongside Rice. Luckily, Anderson's emerged, so he doesn't really need to. In a world where you've got Anderson, Mainu and Lewis Skelly, who all fit alongside Declan Rice really well, I guess you don't need to force him in anywhere. He doesn't fit well with Kane up front. He doesn't fit well with Rice in midfield. Sounds like Bellingham's a bit of a problem. Anderson, Rice and Bellingham could work. Not with Kane up front, though, because then Bellingham and Kane get in each other's way. They're trying to play the same position. We've had 3 or 4 years or whatever it is of trying to make that work, and it doesn't. Rogers should be starting behind Kane. And I think Tuchel already knows that. He's been using him there, hasn't he? Rogers has started in that position more than Bellingham. Do you take Gibbs-White? I mean, if Bellingham's injured and you're not taking Foden or Palmer, probably. Because again, 26-man squad, you can probably take 3 players who can play that role. I take Eze as well, because then he could play centrally or left. No country has ever won the World Cup with a manager not born in that country. Interesting. All changes this summer. That is an interesting statistic, though. I mean, I imagine it's more a case of the big nations tend not to hire managers who are not their nationality. Because apart from England, most other big nations have plenty of top-level managers to choose from. Whereas, for all my life, all the best English managers have been Scottish. Ferguson, next England manager. Exactly. England's best manager of my life was Sven. Absolutely loved that man. I mean, he's a perfect example of a guy who just couldn't pick a good team. He just tried to get the best 11 players on the pitch, and that's why he failed. That England squad should have won the World Cup. But Sven couldn't pick the right 11. The exact same conversation we're having now about, well, if you can't fit Bellingham in, then don't play him. That should have been the conversation when you had Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard all in the same team. It's like, well, sorry, you can have one of them. One of them will play, the other one will sit on the bench, the other one doesn't come. Sven should have dropped Lampard and played. See, I'd rather have Lampard than Gerrard. Of those three, I probably would go Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard. That would be my order. There you go. I doubt anyone will have anything to say about that in the comments, so we'll have a quiet few minutes. Couldn't you play them in a midfield three? No. No, you couldn't. That was the entire problem. No, you absolutely could not. Right. Let's win this football match. Get Gerrard right back and it would be fine. Oh God. No, see this is why England never perform at tournaments. Because we just can't get beyond it. I even look on Twitter now and you see all these. What's stopping this team winning the World Cup? The fact it's imbalanced and nonsense, you moron. That's what. Next question. It's just this English obsession with let's put all of our attacking players on the pitch together. Doesn't matter that half of them are not in their actual position. It'll be fine. It is new bed. I might need a new bed if I get fired. I'll have to move. Pep is the next England manager. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised. We haven't got a new midfielder yet. No, we're trying to sell our existing midfielder who can't get in the squad first, and then need to sell someone else to make a squad spot. Spain are probably Spain aren't winning it. They've not even got Mikel Merino in their squad. Their best striker. He's not even in their squad. He's back in full training. Mikel Merino is going to start the Champions League final as part of an 8-man midfield. But Spain haven't picked him. They haven't got a chance. France probably the favourite to win it this year. The thing with France are always good value to have a massive falling out on the way into a tournament. Or else they'd have won it way more times than they have if they could just get on with each other. But there's been many tournaments in my lifetime where France have looked like the best team going in, and then they just all hate each other and it all goes wrong. And let's face it, there are one or two egos in their squad that could cause problems. So there's always the chance. Spain are going to win it. Not without Mikel Merino, they're not. The Dutch are probably due a massive blow up too. The thing is, the Dutch don't fall out as much these days because they're not good enough to. In order to have a massive fallout, you have to have like 4 or 5 of the best players in the world all together. That's when they fall out because they all think they're the best player. I mean, I can see it now. You've got at least 2 players in that France squad who think they're the best player in the world. Never mind the best player in the French team. And they both play in the same position. So you're just waiting for it to. There you go. Dembele, Elise, Mbappe. I mean, if you get the 3 of them playing together and clicking, then obviously France win. I don't think you're going to get any ego out of Elise, but the other 2. The other 2 think they're the best player in the world. Elise knows he is. John Stones has been named in the England squad. That is fascinating. How many games has he played for City this season? France will either have a meltdown or win it. I mean, that's literally France going into every World Cup in my lifetime. They'll either have a meltdown or win it. If you look at every French World Cup squad of the last 30 years, how have they only won it twice? They're one of the top 1 or 2 squads going into every single tournament. So yeah, same old story with France. If they can keep the team getting on with each other, then they win it. If not, somebody else does. Who do I fancy for the World Cup? I genuinely think England have got a chance. I think we've actually got a decent manager who can win knockout tournaments and doesn't seem to be afraid to make the big decisions. There's a big asterisk next to it though, because it's all well and good him dropping Trent and Bellingham at times in qualifiers and friendlies. Is he going to make the proper big decisions in the World Cup itself? I mean, not taking Foden and Palmer is a huge statement, I think. Because I think every other previous England manager with this pool of players takes both of them. So the fact he's not taking either, I think, is a huge plus. Shows he's actually able to think for himself, and he's got a way. Even taking Dan Burn, I might not agree with it, I might not do it, but at least it shows he's got a plan and is happy to make an insane looking decision to follow through on his plan. Craig Hope says Eze, Bellingham and Rodgers named as number 10s with Tony, Watkins and Kane as the strikers. I'm surprised if there's 3 strikers. But yeah, Eze, Bellingham and Rodgers I think makes sense. I don't think there's anyone better than those three in that position. Right, we are now bottom of the league again, 3 points from safety. We need a midfielder. Do we need... I think we do need a midfielder. We need a midfielder. Go on, go and find me a midfielder. A star player to play in midfield. Has Eze done enough? Yeah, I think so. I think if you looked at minutes played over the course of the season, I mean, I don't have the stats. I would suggest he's probably played more minutes than any other Arsenal midfielder, maybe with the exception of Zubimendi. So he's been a key part of the team that's just won the league. So I think that probably tells you he's done enough. Oh, Rice as well. Yeah, I guess Rice has probably played more minutes than him too. If Odegaard is 100% fit and firing, I don't think Eze plays before him. I think he probably does. I mean, that's a good thing about having a big, deep squad. There doesn't have to be a first choice. They've both got plenty of game time. Probably been asked this before, but how come you always play with the default skins? Because I've never seen a skin that's better than the default one. If anyone can ever find me a better skin than the default skin and make me understand why it's better, then I'll use it. But it seemed, with the greatest respect to the people who make the skins, because I'm sure they're very talented and they get the game set up exactly how they want it. They just cram far too much pointless stuff that I don't need to see on the screen. I don't think getting more nonsense on the screen in front of me is improving the skin. Is this save on YouTube as well? It's live on YouTube right now. What are you drinking? It looks delicious. Well, interesting you ask. I'm drinking strawberry and kiwi holy. The link is on !holy if you're on Twitch, or it's at the top of the description if you're on YouTube. If you're on Kick, go to one of the other platforms. There's other people watching there too. I genuinely don't understand how they've not taken my Kick partnership off of me. What's my take on the Southampton situation? We talked about it at length earlier. We did come up with the perfect solution. The perfect solution that's fair to everybody, we decided after much discussion, is you relegate Spurs and West Ham and then automatically promote Hull and then let Middlesbrough and Millwall play off for the other promotion spot. And that seems like the most fair outcome. We universally agreed that was the best thing to do in the interests of football. Odegaard has been hooked off more times than any Arsenal captain in the club's history. Yeah, that's one of the reasons the team's won the league. Good squad depth. Good squad depth and a manager who's not afraid to take off the captain. It's good. It's a good thing. I suspect he won't be captain next season. I suspect Declan Rice will be appointed club captain over the summer. Why would Rice be captain? He doesn't seem to have the mentality for it. I mean, that is obviously just trolling nonsense. Oh my word. I think pretty much everyone knows Declan Rice is the next England captain. And he's pretty much nailed on to be Arsenal's next captain as well. Isn't Saka vice captain? He is, but that doesn't mean you don't just have to promote him. You can just change the captain. If captain is your best player, shouldn't it be Saka? Why would your captain be your best player? Your captain should be your voice on the pitch. He should be your leader. Doesn't need to be your best player. Do you think 3 teams coming up are likely to do a Leeds/Sunderland or a Burnley? It's hard to see any of them being any good. Seems like a really... I mean, I've not watched any championship this season, but looking at the teams that have come up, it's pretty hard to see anything other than... I mean, bearing in mind, one of them's not even settled yet, but whichever one it is, to me, it's like pretty much nailed on. All 3 of them are going straight back down again. I just don't see any of the 3 surviving. I think it really emphasises the gap between the Premier League and the Championship. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. But, yeah. Depends how much they can spend. The thing is, none of them should spend too much because they're probably going straight back down. And if they spend too much, they'll do a Luton or a Leicester and go straight down again. I mean, all 3 of them have played... I mean, I'm assuming Hull go up here. They've all been in League One in the last 5 years. Coventry have a stadium problem like... Coventry have got a lovely stadium. I know there were times when they weren't playing in it, but they're playing in it now, aren't they? And it's a really nice stadium. Like it's a proper Premier League facility. I've been there for several Lego conventions. It's a lovely place. Yeah, it's massive. Big, really big, shiny, lovely ground. I don't think they own it, but I think they're playing there again now. Everton Stadium's terrible for getting away from it. I mean, that's the case with a lot of these new stadiums. I mean, I never went to Goodison Park, but I've been to one match at Anfield in my time, and that was pretty rotten to get away from as well. I think it's just a big team in England thing. If you're getting 40,000 people or more turn up at your stadium, I don't think there's anywhere really in this country that's set up with the transport infrastructure to properly cope with it. You've either got massive queues at the tube or like impossible car parks to get out of, or like crowds being escorted across city centres by the police. I don't think there's anywhere that you can just get out of nice and quickly. We need some of these stadiums like they've got in America that you're not allowed to walk to, with the massive 2 parking spaces for every fan who's going to attend and motorways on 3 of the 4 sides situations. Etihad only gets like 9 people turn up, so that's a bit different. 9 people turn up and 6 of them go to their corporate meal after the match, so they're not all leaving at the same time. Thanks for the content across different channels. My wife and I just placed our first Holy order and used your discount code. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it. What did you get? We like a Holy around here. Etihad, you can park in Manchester City Centre and it's like a 30-minute walk. Who wants to walk for 30 minutes? Or park in Manchester City Centre. Costs like 80 quid to park in Manchester City Centre for the afternoon. Almost got Holy down my new shirt. I've never been to St James Park, so I can't comment on that. I mean, that's an older stadium, though, isn't it? So the older ones tend to be more central and a bit easier to get away from as a result. If you're properly in a city centre with multiple transport links, in a city that's not London or Manchester, it's probably a bit more straightforward. We've won a football match, everybody. In the league, no less. Look at us go. Nice work, everyone. That was good. That was good. Look at us. Level on points with 17th place QPR. And now we play QPR twice, once in the FA Cup, once in the league. I tell you what, because we then play Forest at home as well, by the end of January, we could be mid-table. What a time to be alive. And my director of football is trying to sign me a right back. I mean, he's quite a good right back. Do we need another right back? I mean, he is better than the ones we've got. I'm not going to argue. If my director of football thinks that's the thing. Oh, hang on. He might be leaving. Have they paid his release clause? Then definitely we need a right back. They have paid his release clause. So Esteva's on his way. And Carlo Ebert will come in to replace him. Straight swap. Easy peasy. Lovely bit of business. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, have we found any midfielders yet? Let's go and have a little look-see. Midi midfielders. Midi midfielders. Do. Old. There we go. He's my guy. Hugo. Yep, we'll have a bit of Hugo, please. Add as transfer target. Get my director of football to get me a Hugo. My right back said no. Did he? Oh. Oh, well. Did he? No, that's mine. Hold on. Oh, he did say no. What a guy. They should put the words on the screen so we can see. When you mention the new games coming out, are you going to stream them or is it for SideQuest? What games are we talking about? I'm confused. I don't know that there's going to be much SideQuest content for a little while because the vlog channel's come back to life and is currently outperforming the Lujo as well on every metric. So as it stands right now, I'm planning more travel, which eats into my playing other games time. Forza, I mean, it would be for streams. SideQuest really for cozy games. I wouldn't play something like Forza on SideQuest. Oh, there you go. There's your confirmation that Esteva has rejected them. Will I do a World Cup FM stream and YouTube series? I'll do a stream. I don't know that I'll do a YouTube series. People got in enough of a hissy fit. Because what I've got to remember is it's the hardcore that's still watching Andrach now. So they got enough of a hissy fit when I missed a day to react to the World Cup stuff this week. Can you imagine if we were like, right, we're having a week off from the main save to do a World Cup save? You should do a tour of Tomodachi Life Island on SideQuest. If I have time, I will. I mean, I've got so much going on at the moment. I'm having meetings with people. Like we're dangerously close to like being grown-ups with some of the stuff going on at the moment. We've got an actual physical product coming out. Where I've had meetings about manufacturing and fulfillment and all sorts of stuff like that through Block Party. We're trying to arrange more travel for the vlog, and I've got a meeting tomorrow with someone about that, because obviously we need to find a way to not spend as much as we're making. So we're talking to sponsors, we're talking to like airlines, cruise lines, train company, hotels. I'm trying to go full influencer with it. It is the Lego tray I'm talking about, the physical product. But yeah, there's so much other stuff going on at the moment with the two channels that are performing, that I'm just really trying to keep the Football Manager plate spinning for 27. I wouldn't expect too much in the way of non-Let's Play videos going forward. We're just relegation release clause at the end of the season. That'd be nice. But like I've said a few times before, it's quite nice that FM is just fun again. I'm just playing it because it's fun. The sensible business decision at this point would be knock FM on the head until the new game. But I can't go 6 months not playing it, even though so many people don't like it. I still like it. So if I'm going to be playing it anyway, which I would be, I'll keep on making the videos. But some of the streams might be non-FM stuff, like we did Batman the other night. We might do a Forza stream at some point. Saying things through the other day, you haven't actually completed a stream save since 2024. I mean, it depends how you count complete. WWE GM mode. I haven't even installed the game yet. Gaming in general, I'm struggling to fit in currently. How was Batman? Enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Had any thoughts about streaming Subnautica 2? I have not. I've not played Subnautica 1. Honestly, I'm not looking for new games to play. I'm quite happy that that content in general is kind of swerving away from gaming for me. Football Manager is always going to be a key part of what I do, but I'm not looking to add another game to the mix really as a regular thing. Is Anna looking forward to the new Assassin's Creed? It's not new, is it? It's a re-release of the old one. Isn't it a re-release of Black Flag? I mean, she'll get it and play it anyway, so I imagine she is. But I don't think there's a new one imminent, is there? I understand it's 11, but selfish, I don't want you to stop doing FM content. I'm not going to stop doing FM content. I can't imagine a situation. The only way I would stop doing FM content is if they stopped making the game. And I got bored of it. But I can't emphasize enough. And this is why I've always bitten back a little bit at people who say he's only ever in it for the money. I genuinely think of every Football Manager content creator, I am the least in it for the money of all of them. Now, I love making money as well, but I don't make FM content to make money. I make FM content because I love playing FM and I love making content, and then I try and maximize the amount of money I make doing that. I think it's two different ends of the spectrum on it. But yeah, I played FM since the mid-90s. I played other football management games before then. I make content about everything I do, and I'm never going to stop playing Football Manager unless they stop making it. So I'm never going to stop making content on it. And honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter if it makes me any money or not. It doesn't matter if people are watching. I mean, can you imagine 2 years ago me streaming to less than 300 people? I've said, you know what, it's not worth my time doing this. I've got to make my money doing something else. And I'm now very fortunate to be able to be like, you know what, Block Party and the vlog channel, between the two of them, and TikTok and various sponsorships and things, it genuinely doesn't matter if nobody watches the FM content at all. So I can just have fun with FM. It's why I've not done very many non-Let's Play videos this year, because I don't enjoy them as much as I like the Let's Play stuff. Would it be fair to say Block Party's success is due to years of FM content? I don't think it is. I think, well, it depends what you mean by due to. I think Block Party's success is due to me being a good YouTuber from the start with Block Party. Like, I'm confident talking on camera, and I know how to package content. I know how to grow a channel. I know how to do thumbnail and title combos. And so a lot of the skills that you learn as you're going with content creation, I had them from the start. So I had a massive unfair advantage. But the actual audience, there's so little crossover when you look at the analytics. There's this genre of person that makes up quite a lot of the Block Party audience. I forget what they're called. We've never had them here. Oh, what was it? Women. Am I saying that right? There are women that watch the Lego content, which I don't know where that. Yeah, females. Don't know where they came from. They certainly haven't come over from here. So yeah, I don't think it's a case of I had an established channel, so everyone watching this went and watched that. I think I've got three very different audiences. It surprises me every time, and it happens a lot now. You'll get a comment on one channel saying, this is my first time here. I've watched this channel for a while and now I'm trying this one out. And I get them across all three channels. It's like there'll be people watching the vlog saying, I'm here. What? This is my first one of your vlog videos I've watched. I've been watching Block Party for the last year, so I'm now trying the vlog. They probably don't have any idea that I also do this channel. Yeah, that one comes up on TikTok. The amount of times, there's two things that we get on the Block Party TikTok quite a lot. You get, I used to watch you when I was a kid, and it's like, thanks. I didn't go anywhere. Grown adult. I'm glad you used to watch me when you were a kid. Or I get, wait, didn't you used to be the Football Manager guy? Still am. I met one of the, I've met quite a few of the bigger Lego creators now, and one of them said to me, the first time we met, that he knew who I was because he used to watch my Football Manager videos when he was at college. I'm like, you, sir, are a full-grown married man with children. And the two things I'm taking from this are, you used to watch me, and when you were at college, adult person. Do you think they're trolling us? I think they're completely serious. There's a big internet out there, and 99.9% of it has no idea who I am. I operate in some very, very specialized niches. I'm like a case study in how to operate in obscure niches on social media. I should write a course. But Lego for adults, Football Manager, travel for disabled people. They're basically my three things, and they're all very niche. Look forward to your TED Talk. I'd love to do a TED Talk. I don't think they'd have me. I don't think anyone knows who I am. They won't let me do one. Right, are we selling Al Mubaki? We're probably not. We'll probably keep him. FM for old men. I don't even know who the FM's for anymore. FM for people who used to watch me. Don't become a course selling creator, please. The thing is, because there's so little crossover, if I did, you wouldn't find out for years. I could have been doing it already. You wouldn't know. The internet's fascinating. It's like infinitely large. That's why it doesn't bother me in the slightest when people are like, unsubscribe. Yeah, who cares? 10 people will fill the gap you've left. Almost like the neurodiverse part of your brain is designed for two of those things. I am so lucky to exist in the time that I exist in. Because can you imagine me having to hold down a real job? This guy's good. We've got our midfielder, Hugo Guzman. Looks a bit special. But I have somehow managed to create a scenario where I can just do what I like doing and call it a job. As long as I'm holding a camera, we're good. 100 years ago, Kev would be cooked. I wouldn't have survived. The family line would have ended with me. I just don't think I could cope. Oh, we didn't get Ebert. From the teaching stories you share, it'd be hilarious. There's no way I would have lasted in teaching much longer than I did as it was. It was too much having to follow rules, do as you're told. It was very restricting. Why on earth are we trying to sign a 34-year-old Carl Rushworth? Do we not have a third choice goalkeeper? Gracie's got to be better than him, surely. I am getting the helicarrier when it comes out. I pre-ordered it months ago before I realised just how much was coming out in June. And part of me is like, maybe I'll cancel that pre-order because I also want the Disney Main Street and about 10 other sets. So I probably shouldn't get the helicarrier. But I kind of want the helicarrier. So I think I'm going to get it. The only things my artistic brain makes me obsessed with is football leagues, which I can name any team in the top 8 or 9 tiers of English football. Wowzers. Am I getting the bigger Messi and Ronaldo sets? I don't think so. I don't really like buildable figures in general. I do like the look of the big Messi wall art. It's got a little unique goat minifigure in with the number 10 on. It's a goat in an Argentina kit with a number 10 on. So it's going to be a completely unique thing. That figure in itself will be worth hundreds of pounds in years to come. And it does look quite fun. So I might get the really big Messi one just to get the goat minifigure. But if anyone is listening to this thinking, you know what, I'm really tempted to get into some Lego. It's armband printing, you got printing on the shorts and boots, but then you get this cool little diorama as well. So we've got Ronaldo doing an overhead kick. He's got printing on his boot, which is really cool. I've built 3 of the 4 of them now. I've just not built the Messi one yet. They're only 20 quid in Costco. I think they're 20 quid in Smith's as well. They are really cool though. So if you want to get into Lego, do that. If you want to get into Lego and you're just stupid rich, do this instead. This is a bit more expensive, but it is incredible to just be able to wave around. Tell you what, it's going to be so much fun when England win the World Cup to be sat here on stream doing this. I'll have my England shirt on, this in my hand, my Champions 26 Arsenal shirt on the wall behind me. I'll be a smiley boy. Subscribing to your Lego channel has cost me a fair bit. My apologies. I saw that in Smith's the other day. It is massive. It's stupid big, but it's heavy as well. It's apparently a 1-to-1 scale model of the World Cup. So if you've ever wondered how big the World Cup is, that's how big it is. Right, let's beat QPR again. We've just beaten them in the FA Cup. We've won 2 games in a row in all competitions. Hold on, where's my new boy? Oh, he's on the bench. That's all right. I can live with him being on the bench. He needs to be involved. Do you think they get massively discounted after the World Cup? Probably. I imagine there'll be 15 quid in B&M by like October. We talked about it a little bit on the Lego stream the other day, though. The danger is if any one of those 4 players wins the World Cup or is like player of the tournament, their one will be impossible to find. So yeah, they're probably going to be 15 quid. There's a chance one of the 4 will just become impossible though. Spray cheese thumbnail makes me want to watch that vlog even more. Then it's done its job, hasn't it? What a Photoshop job that thumbnail is. I'm very proud of it. I'm starting to learn terrible thumbnails are quite clickable. I've known for years thumbnails are not an art contest, but genuinely the worse a thumbnail is, sometimes the more clicks you'll get. Watching you struggle with the spray cheese was fun. Did you like my dad joke? Don't spoil the dad joke. It wasn't even pre-planned. I hadn't read the back of the can before I started filming, but it was like an elite level dad joke that I don't want to spoil for anybody. Spray cheese on the vlog channel. Came out today. Will there be more whiny comments again? I don't think there can be. I don't think I'm negative about anything in that video. I'm spoilers. I'm even positive about the spray cheese. It was actually quite nice. So I don't see how anyone can moan. The only thing that people are going to moan about in that video is it literally starts with me leaving Legoland, Florida, where I basically start the video saying, well, I'm just leaving here. I made a video for my other channel. Now I'm off to get some chicken. And there might be a few people like, I can't believe you didn't show us Legoland. Watch it on the other channel. We did get Chick-fil-A again at the airport, yes. We are big Chick-fil-A fans now. I love your content. I remember when you were in your garage. I don't watch any of those chances or you hammer on the streamer showdown. That is the spirit. I've got gas. I'm gassy. I didn't get to a Bucky's. I think when I go to Bucky's, I want it to be that massive one that people go to on YouTube. There wasn't one particularly close to where we were in Florida anyway, and the nearest one wasn't massive. So we're obviously going to have plenty more trips to the US. We will go to the big Bucky's. Because how can we not? Based on anyone who's ever watched any of my travel content, based on everything I've ever done in the travel genre, it's pretty clear Bucky's is going to be my favourite place in the universe. So, yeah, we're definitely going to go at some point. To the point where I'll probably make a special trip to the US just to go there at some point. It will certainly be a very valid detour when we eventually do one of the road trips we've got planned there. But now I know how many independent Lego shops there are in America, I'm planning some epic US road trips. In your RV road trip. I don't know if it'll be an RV. Anna's very reluctant to do an RV one. I think if Anna ever gets all of the surgeries she's been told she needs, maybe an RV. Otherwise, we'll just get a car and stay in hotels. How did you get everything back you want to buy? By leaving all my clothes there. Certainly the next time I go, I'm going to be traveling with a largely empty suitcase because I bought like 10 t-shirts while I was there. I'm going to have a suitcase that's going to have disposable pants, disposable socks, and my electric toothbrush. And then everything else I'm going to leave there and just buy while I'm there. Right. We're 2-0 up, but we've lost Babelli. I'm just going to leave us a bit lopsided, I think. What level do I need to join you to be a name in the game player? What, on YouTube or here? We're not really doing that on the stream save at the moment. So for naming the game in the YouTube, the main channel YouTube series, the join button on there will explain everything. Buy cheap stuff at a factory outlet. Not even that. Like, I'll take 2 or 3 days worth of clothes with me. Socks that I don't mind leaving there. Pants that I don't mind leaving there. And everything else I'll wear stuff that I buy as I buy it. There you go. We've got the new boy on. Because most of what I bought was t-shirts. I bought some really cool t-shirts. So I only, bearing in mind Anna really wanted to use the laundry machine as well. So we did washing halfway through the trip. I could have easily got away with taking like 3 t-shirts with me. They got washed halfway through and I bought 10. I left all my socks there as it was. I left my 2 spare pairs of trainers there. So I travelled, I took 2 spare pairs of like £20 Skechers, cheap trainers with me, left them both there. But I won't travel with them again because I didn't wear them at all. What I have done is bought myself as a replacement for them because they were like my wearing around the house kind of shoes. But as a replacement for them, I've bought some of these, which pack down much smaller, some little Toms. So these will pack down much better as a second pair of shoes to take with me. You have loads of free QWERTY shirts you can use. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we got it all home fine. To the point where I even bought some extra stuff at the airport because I had room. My first lounge fly bag. How could I not buy a Kevin bag? The membership levels on YouTube don't tell you about naming the game. What, on the main channel? They should do. There's definitely a name in the game tier on the main channel. It won't be on the Lujo Live. It'll be main channel. Well, look at us, boys and girls. We're not in the relegation zone anymore. And now we play Forest. We beat them, we could be mid-table. What a wonderful thing. Oh, we've got to play Liverpool first. Ah, hideous. Apparently Slabhead is not going to the World Cup. It's weird, isn't it? There you go. We'll sign Carl Rushworth. My director of football wants him for some reason. Bedford are getting better and better at football. Yeah, we're not going down. We've got Rushworth. What more could we want? We've got 4 goalkeepers now. And they're all in the squad. Of course they are. That feels unnecessary. Schrader needs to leave, doesn't he? Who's not been registered? Who should be registered? Oh, nobody. Well, there you go. We'll keep 4 goalkeepers in. What's the harm? What do you think of the World Cup coming FM26? I'm excited. Although I did make the mistake of putting that on Twitter. Allow me to read a response. Because I think it's important. It's important that that none of us overreact to things. I think that's key. So I'll start with what I tweeted. Because let's be fair, I maybe got a bit carried away. Based on my reading comprehension skills, the World Cup is available as a standalone game mode and will be fully integrated into the new existing saves. So you can manage an international team in your current save, and women's international football is also coming in the same update. So I put 3 facts on there, and then this is where I got far too carried away for Twitter because I expressed an opinion. 3 words. I'm quite excited. Which, as you can imagine, my word. Where is he? Has he deleted it? I might have blocked him. I might have to have a look. Might have to do the old log in as home so that I can see what people are saying to me after I block them trick. Let's have a look. Lalujo, that's me. I feel like the sting's been taken out of this a little bit. Oh, he must have deleted it. There was some guy who was just like absolutely awful. Obviously called me a shill, that goes without saying. But but threatened all kinds of horrible things. Oh, he's gone though. Maybe Twitter dealt with him. Either he's deleted it or Twitter have dealt with him because it was absolutely absurd. But yeah, he got. Did I take a picture of it? I hope I did. Sometimes I do, just to forward them to the police. I don't know if this one was police worthy. I can't remember the actual words he used. No, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for not keeping a record of this one for content. I've slipped up there. But yeah, obviously it was utterly unacceptable. Bottom line, it was unacceptable for me to be, and I quote, quite excited. Oh my word. Imagine if Sports Interactive were paying me and they're giving me like thousands of pounds for that. Because that's a real needle mover right there. I'm quite excited. Can I have my £10,000 now, please? Wow. Quick Pick wants me to actually play Rushworth. Wowzers. That seems extravagant. This guy's got a cap for France. Love to know how awful your personal life has to be to genuinely angry and abusive over a video game. Some people are just angry at life and take it out on anyone they can. More often than not, I do just feel a little bit sorry for people who get like that on the internet, because it is pathetic to be that bothered. I mean, I do this for a living and I don't care that much. If they never make another Football Manager game, balls. Never mind, I'll do something else. This guy, there's been so many of them over the last year. I don't understand why they care as much as they do. They must have so little else going on in their life for them to care this much about a computer game that doesn't really matter. Well, there you go. Rushworth is in. Rushworth's in to protect Dion against Liverpool. Why not? Dion's injured, is he? That might explain it. People are so negative all the time and it's tiring. Yeah. I'm not bothered by it anymore. It used to really bother me. But as I've gotten older and realised that it's almost never about me, and it's usually just them venting because their own life is a bit rubbish. So much of it spans from jealousy, even like the Epic Universe stuff that I had over the last few days. Someone in the comments, that summed it up perfectly. The vast majority of the people who are getting so upset and so vehemently defending Universal off the back of my very valid criticism, they're going to be the people who've never been there. And it's their dream trip and they've never been able to go. And they're jealous and upset that I went on their dream trip and didn't do what they would have done and had their dream day out doing it. And that's probably where the majority of it stems from. Almost none of it is going to be people who've actually been there and experienced it and think that I'm wrong. And I think they probably hit the nail on the head. Because none of it was unwarranted criticism. Anyone who's actually been there would be like, yeah, that's all fair enough, actually. And when you view it through that lens, you just feel a bit sorry for them. Because the other thing someone else pointed out was like the vast majority of content they'll see on it is from influencer types who are afraid to say anything negative because they're trying to get the brand deal, they're trying to get the sponsorship or the free trip, so they're never going to go there and criticize it because they're hoping next time they go they can go for free. I don't want to go back. I mean, I just don't care. If they want to give me a free trip, lovely. The terms will be as usual. I'm going to still say what I like. If you don't like it, I'll pay. One of my other favourite streamers, Gary Eats, has this sort of abuse in real life. I don't get how you can hate on someone just for doing what they love. That's mad. People get so weird. Same with the new camp. People were raging at them tearing it down. I've been in the top tier on a freezing November night. It was horrible. That stadium needed a roof for the people that use it. The fans, not the tourists that see it as a football landmark that shouldn't be touched. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, people who've... I get it, and it is going to be upsetting. If you've got, like, if your dream, your whole life has been one day, I'm going to go to the new camp. It is my number one bucket list dream, and then they tear the place down. Obviously, you're going to be a bit bent out of shape about it, but there's no reason to absolutely lose your mind on the internet and make a fool of yourself. What are they saying in the comments? I mean, just basically accusing me of being weirdly, a few people accuse me because this was a free trip. It wasn't. Because this was a free trip, it's pretty clearly, it's like the opposite of the criticism I get for Football Manager. Because this was a free trip, it wasn't. But because this was a free trip, you just don't care and you're just phoning it in. This should have gone to someone who'd actually enjoy it. I paid for it. I did enjoy it. I just said it'd be nice if there was some shade in this park that they built a year ago. It would be nice for them to add a bit of shade. It would be nice if these rides that were built a year ago were actually accessible to disabled people, like the 50-year-old rides in Disneyland are. It would be nice if the staff didn't shout at us and be really rude. It was all like completely normal, fair criticism. I still want your Efteling thoughts. We're probably going in the next month. We are. I've spoken to Efteling. We're still not able to get a sponsored trip. But we are doing a European road trip in the next month or so. And one of the stops is Efteling. We've got permission to film. We just need to book the room. So I have spoken to them. Unfortunately, like I say, no freebie. But it looks so cool and it's on the way to where we're going. So it's going to be one of our stop off points. So yeah, we are doing Efteling within the next month. So I'm very excited about that because it does look really cool. I've wanted to go there for years. Hope they've got some shade because we're going in June, so it's going to be warm. What kind of vehicle? We'll go in our car. We're thinking we're either going to get the ferry across to like the Hook of Holland and start our road trip there, or we might just do our usual Eurotunnel and take a few extra days over the trip and maybe include Disneyland Paris in it as well. But we're basically looking to drive to... there's a couple of things we want to do. It's going to be quite an efficient trip for getting content for both channels. Because we're going to go back to Hamburg, where we went earlier in the year, because there's so many independent Lego shops in Hamburg. So we're going to spend a couple of days in Hamburg going to some of the independent Lego shops there. And then we're going to go to Billund and go to Legoland Billund for the first time. Anna's going to go to the Lego house for the first time. We're going to stay at the Lalandia Centre Parksy place over there. And we're also going to probably go to another German city on the way back. Maybe Bremen is what I'm thinking at the moment. I've never been there, just to have a look, just as another stop, so I'm not having to drive for 8 hours. And then Efteling is almost certainly nailed on as a spot as well. And then, like I say, depending on the length of the trip, we might loop round to Disneyland Paris and Parc Asterix as well, because I've not been to Parc Asterix since I was 15, so I'd be really keen to get back there. Southern Germany is going to be a separate trip that we might look to do later in the year, because I do want to go to Legoland Germany, because they've got a massive factory shop. There's also a really cool Lego museum, which I think is just south of Munich. So I'm thinking later in the year we'll probably fly into Munich maybe, and spend a week just driving around the southern part of Germany, taking in some of the other Lego sites, and obviously making some travel content while we're there as well. Could have got you cheaper Efteling tickets if I'd known. It was a supermarket price that just ended. No, that would have been awesome. We just got to choose which hotel we want to stay in at Efteling. I'm thinking we might just stay in the big fancy one that's basically in the park, because we're never going to get to do that at Disneyland. But there, it's still expensive, but it's not Disneyland expensive, and it's just looks like such a cool experience to be in effectively their like Disneyland castle hotel, but their version of it. So we might go for the super fancy hotel, just because we've never done anything like that before. So yeah, we've got a few things lined up for the next few months. I've also been informed by Andy that we're going back to Skegness for a week as well, which he's paying for. So I can't really argue with that. So I'll have my annual Skegness content as well. If anyone's got any suggestions for Lego shops in and around Skegness, that'd be handy. Make sure you have car recovery for Europe. I mean, we already do. We've been to Disneyland a few times in that car. And was it last year we went to Bruges? No, it was earlier this year we went to Bruges on the cruise. When was the last time I drove to Bruges? I forget. I forget where we go and what we do. We do lots of things. But yeah, should be some fun travel coming up. Ideally, it will slot in with not too much of a gap after the Florida content finishing on the vlog channel. We'll maybe have a week or two for everyone to recover, and then we'll get straight into the road trip content. Has Andy shown any interest in the Lego stuff? Nah. All he's interested in with Lego is smashing it up, because that's what he does on Lego City Undercover, which is still one of his favourite games. I did like the shops in Great Yarmouth, but he is insistent that we're going to Skegness, which is quite far from Great Yarmouth. There's a cool Lego park in Austria called Minimundus. If it's in the bit of Austria that's next to Germany, that could potentially loop into that trip later in the year. But I think we're looking at the current version of my plan. I think we've got 2 days in Hamburg, and there's 4 Lego shops I want to get to. So I need to line them up so that I've got time to go back to the Miniature Wonderland as well and have a proper look around that. Because we were a bit rushed when we went there earlier in the year, because we had to get back on the cruise ship. But I'd really like to go and spend a whole afternoon in there, just nerding out. We're beating Forest now as well. Look at us go. There's also a miniature land place at The Hague. Interesting. I mean, there's a couple of Lego shops in the Netherlands that I can tick off my passport for as well as we're passing through. There's the new Rotterdam store, which I've not been to. I think there's a Discovery Centre at The Hague. So depending on how the trip is scheduled, should be lots of fun. Nerding out new channel. That's basically what the vlog channel is. If you miss the cruise ship setting off, what happens? I mean, on the cruise we were on, nothing drastic. We'd just get the train to the next city because it was cruising down the coast of Europe. So if we'd have missed the ship in Hamburg, the next stop is Rotterdam. So we just get the train to Rotterdam. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. Get the train to Rotterdam and spend the night in a hotel waiting for the ship to catch us up. If you're doing like a Caribbean one, it's more of an issue. You're looking to fly to the next stop, I guess. But when it's just cruising down the side of Europe, it's pretty easy to get from one of those cities to the next one on the train. But yeah, cruise ships will just leave without you if you're not there on time. I was on the Norwegian cruise. Someone missed it and had to fly it at their cost to the next port. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's your responsibility to get back to the ship. But yeah, ours was probably the lowest risk one you could possibly do for that. Even if we'd have missed it the last night, like the last night it was in Zeebrugge. Even if we'd have missed it that last night, we probably still could have beaten it back to Southampton by jumping on the Eurotunnel and then getting a train down to Southampton, and you literally just meet it back there and grab your stuff. Obviously, all of that would be very stressful and is to be avoided. But I'm far too nervous to risk that happening anyway. We're always back on the ship with hours to spare. The reason we rushed in Hamburg is because I wanted to be back on the ship with like 5 hours to spare. We weren't in danger of missing it. Discovery Centre at The Hague also leads to more seaside content since it's one of the major beaches in the Netherlands. Lovely. I've never been to a beach in the Netherlands. How is Big Frankie still at Bedford? Because no one else wanted him. And we now play to a big striker. So if Manuel has to come off, Frankie's the obvious one to come on to still be that big striker for us to play off of. We've basically got strikers playing off of either wing. The little strikers play off the wings, and then there's the big guy in the middle for them to play off of. It's finally starting to work. I imagine you just follow a schedule set by ChatGPT on all your trips. No, I use ChatGPT to help me plan, but I am fascinated when people, unless I'm using ChatGPT wrong, because it's nowhere near as smart as people think it is. So I think the people who think it does everything are the ones who don't really use it and don't really know its massive limitations. Like, the starting point for planning this road trip was I asked ChatGPT for a realistic route. And the first thing it did was add 2 days onto the trip, which I didn't want it to do. Then I said, look, I don't want to drive more than 4 hours in a day. And the last day of the trip was driving from Billund back to Calais, which apparently is less than a 4-hour drive. So yeah, I don't think ChatGPT is as smart as people think it is. The only time I've ever seen you wear an Arsenal shirt is when they've won. Yeah, I'm not going to wear it when they've lost, am I? The only time I usually wear football kits is during the matches. I'm wearing it tonight to be a troll. Yeah, I've got my Everton shirt from the storage unit, the one with Luca Digne on the back that we had for the was that for the network game? So I've got an Everton shirt ready for the weekend. Mr. Everton. I don't use it because I know the limitations. I think it's a useful thing for the early stages of planning things, but you can't use it to do the final stage of anything. Like every now and again, if I'm being particularly, I guess it's when I'm being particularly wooden and autistic in a video, people will tell me I'm just reading out a ChatGPT script, and it's like, You don't understand how much I wish that was possible. I wish I could ask ChatGPT to write me a script for a video and it be something I could just read out and it not be utter garbage. They're useful for, like, I'll get ChatGPT to do some research for me. The Lego video that came out today was all researched by ChatGPT. I asked it to go and find me all the best Lego deals in the UK at the moment. It took it like an hour and a half, but it gave me a list. But it could never have written the video for me. It makes my emails less nicer. Oh, are we going to do another goal? It's Hugo. Hugo! Come on then. Who do you want to qualify for Thursday night football? One of the Bs, one of the B teams that should be playing at Posh's level. Seeing Bournemouth, Brentford and Brighton up in the top half of the Premier League does sting a little bit as a Posh fan, because it's not so long ago that they were all teams that Posh were better than. But it'll be fun to see any of them go and win the Conference League. The only people who think ChatGPT does something better than a trained human are people who fundamentally misunderstand the thing the trained human is doing. Yeah, exactly. I remember when you asked ChatGPT to write an intro and it's so. And don't get me wrong, I am, and I know some people get upset by it, I genuinely think AI is really clever and I use it quite a lot and want it to be able to do more, and would love to be able to get to the point where I could train it to write a script that sounds like a script that I've written, because it would save me so much time. And if it's as good as what I would have done anyway, like, that's not taking anyone's jobs, that's saving me time. If I can train it to do what I was going to do anyway in the same way I was going to do it but faster, I'll have me some of that. It's not there yet though. I think it's a long way, but it's a long way from being there. Right, folks, I think we're going to wrap things up here. It's the end of the transfer window. We've got ourselves out of the relegation zone. We're almost at the Kev ratio, and I think we're going to be fine. Obviously, Tuesday's stream is almost certainly going to be us playing for a World Cup, unless Football Manager it. We'll probably get that done in one night, though, I imagine, and we'll be back to Bedford next week. So, yeah, we'll be back in this save very soon. But for now, thank you for watching. Toodle pip. I am going to go and have a sleep. That's what I do at night. I sleep. Bye-bye, everybody.